Okay, before I get started, let me tell y'all something. The other day, I was trying my hardest to complete the husband grand slam. Work out, cut the grass, go to the grocery store, and cook. Let me tell you, I got to second base. Maybe third base. I did wake of course I woke up. I cut the grass, I worked out, I went to the store, but I could not cook. I was so tired. I tried my best, but the Sandman was not with it. I got home from the grocery store, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm done. I had to tell my wife, look, I don't know what we're gonna eat tonight, but I can't cook it. All right, let's get into the video. Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day in Craw Park. Thank you guys so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and this video series we read about from cover to cover. So I know last week we had a special video on King Saul, but we're gonna go back to Genesis and pick up where we left off last time. So in Genesis 48, we see that Jacob is an old man, and he's actually nearing his death. So he wants Joseph to bring his sons to him so he can bless them. Jacob also wanted to bless his own sons. Now I'm not going to read what Jacob said to his sons as he blessed them and or cursed them, but you need to read it for yourself because some of that stuff is wild. So around this time, Joseph's brothers fear retaliation again from Joseph. However, Joseph shows them mercy again and shows us once again why he's better than most. So we have finally done it. We have finally moved to Exodus. I know it's been a while, but slow and steady wins the race. So opening Exodus, we see that there's a new Pharaoh. Pharaoh is simply a nickname for the king of Egypt. So at this time, we've moved generations into the future. So much so that the new king of Egypt has forgotten everything that the Hebrew people have done for the Egyptians. And the new Pharaoh, he is so insecure. He is so worried that the Israelites are going to come against him and attack his people. So what is the saying? Hurt people, hurt people. So this new Pharaoh issues a decree. He is trying to kill every male Hebrew child in Egypt. I mean, Pharaoh got so desperate, he even tried to get midwives and nurses to kill babies right out of the womb. But keep in mind, these are still God's people, and so they still flourish, and the population still grew. The king's last decree was that for every male child that was born of Hebrew descent, put them in the river and let them drown. And at this moment, this is when Moses is introduced in the Bible. Even if you're slightly familiar with the Bible, you've heard this story. Moses is born. Of course, Pharaoh has a decree, and so Moses is put in a basket and sent down the Nile River. So what happens next is remarkable. As you know, Moses is born, but he should not be alive because he's a male Hebrew child. His mother hides him until she cannot anymore. So what she does is she puts him in a basket and sets him down the Nile River. Now how ironic, as he's floating down the river, he's stuck in a reed bed, and the king's daughter finds him, takes care of him, and eventually adopts him. Now Moses is an Israelite, but similar to Joseph, he grows up in the Egyptian land. At some point, Moses must have realized who he was or someone told him, because he did not assimilate into Egyptian life. He grew up watching his people be enslaved, beaten, and killed. And this is when I really started to like Moses. He's a ride or die Israelite. He sees an Egyptian beating one of his people, and so he kills him. And he thought nobody saw him. However, a few days later, it came up that there were witnesses. Now, of course, there are snitches, and so the king eventually found out what he did. The king wanted to kill Moses, however, he was able to escape. So after Moses escapes, he finds himself in a new land, in an opportunity to help some girls with their livestock. The girls go back home, but their father is curious as to why they got home so early. The girls tell their father that a man helped them. So their father is really excited, and so he tells the girls to go get the man so we can have a meal. Now, this man is not just any man. He's actually the priest in that area. Now, I don't know what Moses did or said, but apparently he made a great first impression. So much so that the priest allowed Moses to marry his daughter. So at this point, I'm like, Moses, you a bad man. You grew up, won the lottery, was able to escape the Nile River, grew up in a house of Egyptians, somehow wasn't murdered for being an Israelite, killed an Egyptian because you wanted to stand up for your people, escaped Egypt and escaped death, got to a new land, did a good deed, got invited to dinner, and somehow finagled that into getting married. Was you a bad man? Meanwhile, in Egypt, his people are still enslaved, and they're crying out for freedom. God hears their cries and is moved to compassion. So one day while Moses was working in the yard, he felt so moved to go to Mount Sinai. As he was walking on Mount Sinai, God appeared to him as a burning bush. The Bible says that Moses saw the burning bush but wanted to get a closer look. Now I don't know if I would have did that. Sometimes minding your business is a good thing. But Moses goes over and he realizes that that is God. In this moment, God gives Moses the assignment to go back and rescue his people from Egypt. God reassures Moses that throughout the entire operation, he will be with them to help him perform miracles. And actually, when they leave, they will leave with the goods and the riches of the Egyptian people. And of course, Moses doubts himself. He brings up every situation in the book. Whether they don't believe me, I'm not a great speaker, but God, time after time, answers all of his requests. God allows Moses to perform some miracles on the spot to reassure him that he is with him. And God also tells him that he will send his brother Aaron with him to speak for him. So with God by his side and his walking stick, Moses is ready to return to Egypt. So that brings us to Exodus chapter 4 and the end of this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I sincerely appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next week.